The Speaking Skull, a Japanese ghost story. There once lived a monk named Dutu. He was a very tender-hearted and compassionate person. He noted one day that travelers had difficulty crossing the river due to lack of a bridge, so he supplied the funds from his personal savings to build a bridge for everyone's use. Acts such as these earned Dutu the respect and honor of everyone who knew him. One day, Dutu was walking through the valley of Mount Nara with his disciple Manryo. Quite by accident, while glancing on the wayside, he saw a skull that had tumbled down from somewhere. The skull seemed to have had a hard time being covered in mud and looking like it had been kicked around by travelers on the road. There was very little meat left clinging to the bone, and then only in small places. Dutu felt very sorry for the poor skull and turned around to talk to his disciple, Manryo. As his master commanded, Manryo took the skull high up into a tree, away from where it would be seen, and covered it with some branches to keep it hidden. This happened on the evening of the closing of the year. Soon after, a man appeared before the gates of Kankoji, asking to be shown inside. I have humbly come down from the mountain with a request to see the one they call Manryo with my own eyes. Could you please bring me before him? The man was infallibly polite in his greeting and manners, so the young man tending the gate guided him to Manryo. Though Manryo had never seen the man before, his face had an odd familiarity about it. This is what the man said. I am a man who is deeply indebted to you. You have done me a tremendous service, and now I would like to return your generosity. Although I have brought nothing with me now, I beg of you to return with me to my home so that I may properly repay you. For his part, Manryo did not understand at all. However, the petitioner had come with such heartfelt enthusiasm, he felt the man must be telling the truth. How could I deny such a request coming from one so earnest? I will come with you to your home. There is nothing for Manryo to do except for to accompany the man out of the temple gates. When he arrived at the man's house, Manryo was presented with a dazzling feast. Please, please, take only your favorites, and lots of them. Please. While saying this, the man began to enthusiastically gorge himself. Manryo still wondered what he had done to deserve such rich rewards. But when he asked the man exactly how he had been of service, the man was quick to shut Manryo up by shoving delicious delicacies at him. There seemed to be no end to the offered morsels. Manryo, still a young man and given to worldly pleasures, was unable to resist. All right, I will hear the reason later. For now, I will simply enjoy the proffered feast. With that decided, Manryo dug into the food with as much enthusiasm as his mysterious companion. Never in his life had he tasted such delicious foods, and he was eager to try them all. Between the two of them, empty plates piled up like a mountain. Eventually, enthusiasm gave way to physics as Manryo could stuff no more food into his eager body. Thinking to relax, he was startled as he saw the man's face suddenly turn a violent shade. Honored Manryo, my brother who murdered me has just arrived. There is no time to hesitate. We must flee from here. Come with me. Hearing this, Manryo was shocked out of his pleasant repose. What exactly are you saying? His voice trembling, the man answered. Many years ago, my brother and I had a business together. From that business, I was able to save 30 kin of gold. My brother himself saved nothing and thought it easier to kill me one night and steal my 30 kin of gold. For the longest time, my body rotted in the forest until nothing was left of me but my skull. people walking along the road who saw me would only kick my skull out of the way, like an inconvenience. It was terrible. But then, beyond all hope, you came along and lifted me up from the dirt and saved me from my fate. I thought about how I could possibly repay such a kindness, and so I came to your temple this evening to invite you to my house for this feast. To say that Manrio was surprised by this confession would be a gross understatement. But even in his panic and confusion, he realized that being caught in this house by the murderous brother was undesirable. And so he jumped to his feet, but he was too slow in trying to escape, and he heard the door creak open and someone enter the house. The shock was too much for him, and Manrio froze in fright. The person at the door, however, was not the feared brother, but instead the brother's son, accompanied by their mother. She saw Manrio standing rigidly in her living room and shouted in fear, "Ah! A monk! Why are you here inside my house?" Manrio let the story he had just heard pour out in every detail. He turned back to look over his shoulder and get confirmation from the man who had led him to this house, only to see nothing. The mother listened to Manrio's story with as much shock as Manrio had. It was nothing like what she had heard before. The mother was very angry towards her son, who had killed his younger brother. She looked down at the brother's son and told him in her strictest voice, "Your father is a terrible person. You must pray for the soul of your murdered uncle and apologize for your father's crime." The young boy did as he was directed and removed his father from his heart to be replaced by his uncle, who had been good and kind.